Hey, on Gyulai here. I'm knocking out a quick video for Ben and Branden. This is something that I do for Ben as one of the ways that I help him. I think if we work together in the next year, I think this is something that I'll do with you guys, most probably once every 2 weeks. But we will review this together. Yeah, I think this is a good match. This is the one I kind of walked in on. Sorry, I kind of walked in like that. First set was pretty horrific. I know you had like 4 or 5 blocking errors in the net, and then second set I think you had 5 blocks when you made that change to blocking ball. I spoke to Ben about that, but I think that kind of steps into kind of a lot of the coaching philosophies I have for you, Branden. I think there's so many opportunities for you to get better at blocking. It's crazy, and I'll show you some of that in this video. I think it's also, I'm sorry to say this, but that day that I met you guys, I think that coaching that you received was not good enough, in my opinion. I know he's a famous coach and all the rest of it, but you know, in my opinion, if he had done what he should have, and you work with me for one session, you will notice the difference on it immediately. So in one session, I will fix your blocking, and I'm not making that stuff up. Okay, so let's check this out. It's midway through game 2. This is the video by Jason D at NY Varsity Sports. It's a great video. So let's get going.
No. do I need to put it closer? So we made some changes.
Okay, so we're back into blocking ball, which is good.
Yeah, and basically,
as you recall, the guy on the right, I don't know his name, playing left side, was eating you up through the middle.
we're just eating them up with chips.
So again, you're now blocking ball, and again we went straight through the middle. Ben, that's a bad serve by you. You got to start forcing them either to the corners. So depending on the player, we want to be playing them down the line, and smaller people like this guy, I would always be serving him down the line, because in a situation like that, Branden, you can put up a big block and shut him down. But when we have him coming through the middle, it's very difficult for us to stop him. Like, look at this. Okay, Ben, you're in a pretty good spot, and it's just too difficult. Okay. Branden, one of the things that I'm looking at, for me, I think the biggest problem in your blocking is your starting position. Like, look at this, you're blocking ball. As a ball blocker, you should be fronting him more. So you should be there. Instead, you are here. So you can see how you're out of position. Okay, you need to be in front of him, clearly. Also, I like for you to work on the step close move that I've been teaching. I think it falls naturally into your technique. Plus, what we can do with this technique is basically seal off both the line and the angle. So if you were fronting him, Branden, a little bit more where you should be in position, and then go with that seam block, which I really like. I taught you guys this briefly, where your right hand is straight, and then your left hand in this situation would be penetrating into the angle. Basically what it would do is shut down his hard-driven ball, his line hard-driven ball, and especially how big you are with the small court. If you look at the math in the court, things have dramatically changed. We've basically gone from 61 meters down to, down from 81 meters down to 64 square meters of court. You know, when you're dealing with a 9x9 court to an 8x8 meter court, there's a massive change in the square footage. That's why, you know, Loyola's, I shouldn't have said that. That's why that blocking technique of that other coach is not necessarily the best, in my opinion, for you. Okay, so let's watch this, see what happens. Again, Branden, you can see you start in the wrong position. I would actually step close with my left foot here. And then you're making a double move. One of the big problems that you make is you make double moves on everything. I'll try to do that in slow motion. Notice you're going up, and then double move. And then another move. Notice that. You should ideally be making one move unless you're trying to really fake someone out. But I think in your situation, just how big you are, we need to start with a one-move block. I think the big problem is we're not setting up our defense well enough behind your block, because it's not always clear where you're going. So we have to really start thinking about what are our opportunities and why do we block. Number one, we go to block balls. Number 2, to have the ball come off the block and tip it up so that Branden can dig it. Number 3, create channels. The problem with you, Branden, is that you're not creating channels or a setup defense for Ben where it's clear where you're going. So you can see on this move, even Ben made a move slightly to the right. I think if we were a little bit more clear where your right hand was clean on the ball here, so you were starting. Notice how you had to jump through to the left, Branden. On a ball block, you should just jump straight up, in my opinion. Okay, this block that you did is something else. We'd call that a hang 10 block almost. Okay, and then Ben, I want to work with you on a stretch step shortening cycle move going forward. You'll see Sean Rosenthal do this a lot, but I'm seeing you jumping up and you're not then going into a neutral position off your step close. Off your stretch step. So we'll talk about that a lot. And then the other problem I'm having a lot of, Branden, which is really killing me, is this arms here inside your body. Remember, your arms, it's easier to move in than out. So you always want to be starting out, and then you can get the ball with one hand if it's outside. But when it's coming at you inside, it's really easy and fast to move in. You're starting and getting your arms locked in. So I think what you should do is maybe look at like a Fenoy starting position. I don't know if you've seen him. Look at some old videos I'll show you when I coach you guys next. But there's some different changes that you should do on your blocking technique. On your defensive technique. Okay.
Also not blocking very well.
That's a ball you should get there in my opinion. I think your stretch step is what messed you up there. I think Branden, that's also a ball you can be touching if you had basically fronted him more and gone with your right hand on the ball.
If it's something you can reach over, just grab it.
Exactly, he's had such a big block. So he's had 4 blocks since then, this set already. And Ben's digging a crap load of balls.
Who won the percentage?
They won it badly. It was like 15 points.
Oh, dude.
So they're back in this game now and they're starting to play like they can play.
Okay, cool. Well, that's the briefing.
So, Branden, something I want to work on is your arm swing. So I'm the #1 spiking technique coach in the world. If you Google volleyball spiking technique, you'll see I've got like 6 out of the top 10 videos. Also, even on your serve, the same thing's happening. I would like you to work on getting your arm back and ready so you're generating more hips for power. I think we can really increase the power on your hitting if we focused on opening up your hip. And then also, you have a low contact point on this based upon because of your starting position of your arm swing.
Gyulai, I'm Jason. Welcome to court number 5.
Again, now notice where you're starting. You're not fronting him. So you should be, you're here. And instead, Branden, you should be here, fronting the hitter.
This is the 8th.
See how slow you are? And even this is not great because look at your feet. And you're not going up and down, you're jumping forward into it, so you're jumping sideways. So I think if we work on the step close technique, I think it'll match nicely into your style. Plus it's going to allow you to, in this block right here, to really penetrate with this right hand right to this, and your left hand would be here. So you'd basically be going up straighter and doing left, right. Okay. Like that's a ball you got to block every time. Like that's an easy ball to block, Branden, in my opinion. Like I could block that, but that's just bad technique. And notice again the double move. See, you're making 2 moves on your block. You got to go just straight in. That should be. See, your right hand is too late on the ball because you're not making the right move. You see that? Because you made a double move. See, that right hand should just go straight from the shoulder right now into here. The left hand should be straight on the ball here. So because your starting position is in the wrong place, you're jumping sideways and then making a double move. So we got to just fix all of this. This is very easy. I think you got some bad coaching and you just need somebody like me to help you. We could fix it in a session or 2, and then once we get you understanding it, I think it's a few extra sessions on making sure you don't make the double moves, but I think this is very easy to fix. But again, I think it all starts with starting position and then what is the correct moves. But yeah, that's the block you got to have every single time.
Absolutely gorgeous
Like,
from Hermosa Beach, California.
and then I don't want you moving as much, buddy. I think you're moving too much. Like, you should be sitting in the middle and waiting and step closing. Like, that's not the block, the way you should be playing.
14-13. 14 serving 13. 13-14. Serving 14. Cool. I said, come on. Ben goes cut. Ball dug. So.
I like this footwork. Now look at how this naturally, if you had your left foot off and you had step closed, if I teach you the step closed technique properly, it's easy for you to pull and you'd be easier
it's kind of its own.
yeah, you'd be able to pull just like that.
Branden.
Okay, you are going in with the correct footwork. Look at this left arm of yours, Branden. This may be something we should talk about. Ideally, you should have that left arm on the chest. Maybe that's why you're always having you're not getting your hips open. So one of the big things is you don't open up your hips so you don't generate as much power as you can. Like look at your hips right now. Look how you have to open up. Like you're not open. So we gotta work on that arm swing. That's a good shot by you. Nice pull away. If you're doing this with a bad arm swing, imagine what we could do with a great arm swing. That's my attitude.
Hard for the switch. So let's film this scoreboard for a second. This is our little homie. What's your name?
Sister.
Emily.
Ben's sister.
I'm Jason. Jason DeVillas.
Don't mind the box.
No. Ben was nice enough to give me an interview from my YouTube cast for Volleyball the Tuesday after a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Tell us anything.
No, right? It's like, how you doing? How you doing, big bro? Just got hit by a car last week. The woman's in a coma. Oh, wow, thanks. I see you.
This is interesting for me. This is a serve that you guys should be thinking about. Randy Stokler spoke to me about this. Okay, when you're serving a right-handed hitter and you serve it on their left side, notice how he has to go around.
Get up.
And what happens is because that ball, the way it comes, he often is completely blind to where the block is. So he's now in the set, he doesn't really get a chance to look down at the block. Okay. So think about that on serving this guy middle. Also, he wants to run more outside. So it's kind of like if I had to play the Brazilians, for example, the Brazilians love to run and swing outside. So I would be serving them through the middle to run outside. Now the guy on the left here with the sunglasses setting is the opposite. He wants to run through the middle. I will never serve him through the middle. So I would only serve him from the outside. But again, like this is interesting. You're going to get a point on this, serving through the middle, and then you don't go again. Now, Branden, look at your starting position again. Like, this is a mess, bro. You don't front him properly. So again, and then look how long it takes you to actually get on the header with your eyes. You're on the ball, you're on the ball, you're on the ball. Okay, on the ball, ball setter, ball hitter. Look, you haven't even looked at the header yet. You haven't looked at the header, you haven't looked at the header. You haven't looked at the header. Like that's a ball. Like look at this double move you're making. And look, you're taking no area. Like you're taking nothing, in my opinion, Branden. Like look at how small that block is. Whereas if you had started here, gone up and down, now you could have had a move here. Let me get that right there, and a move right here with your little hands on the top. You see that? So you could actually make that move if you were there. Also, because you're not step closing, I think you would get slightly higher. Like I've seen you block. Look at how low your block is right now, Branden. Like when you're jumping, because you're jumping sideways, look how much sideways you jump. How much sideways? You lose all your height. Whereas if we got you jumping straight up and down, you'd be taking the area I'm showing with the big, the antennas right now, the beetle antennas. Do you see the difference? So we have to fix that. Like that's like a no-brainer in my opinion. Okay.
There you go, boys.
Nice dig, nice play. I like everything about the dig, nice everyone too. Okay.
He's thinking now, guys.
Okay. Well, he's thinking now. So what I'm referring to on that is something called Hicks' law. Okay, so basically what happened when you were originally in set 1 just blocking line or angle is it became very clear where you were jumping based upon how you jump, Branden. Whereas if we're blocking ball, okay, what starts to happen is the number of choices that he has increases. As his number of choices increase, his reaction time decreases. It's something called Hicks' law. So for example, if he thinks you're going to do 2 things, okay, he's 56% slower than if he thinks you're going to do just 1 thing on your block. If he thinks you're going to do 3 things, he's 100% slower. So what happened there is his reaction time on his cut shot was not as good because he's now starting to think about where your block is and where you're moving. I think we can do an even better job and take up more area if we're more in front and we front the hitter better.
Once again, chasing the best.
Okay, now Ben, this pisses me off, buddy. You just served the ball down the middle and scored a point. Okay.
Courtside with Andor, Gyulai, former UCLA.
Okay. Why are you serving his line? Okay. Branden, if you know it's going to the guy on the left, don't start in the middle like this. Start a little bit more to the right or something. Okay. Now notice how look how long it takes for you to front this guy, Branden. Like you're not in front of the hitter. Like you got to get. This ball's likely going outside. Look at his approach. So you should be starting outside in my opinion. Okay. Also, we must probably have an offshore wind, I'm presuming. This is Hermosa. So on an offshore wind, the ball's most probably going to get blown outside. So you don't want to be starting inside. You want to be starting outside so that the ball blows into you. Plus, what it allows you to do is step close with your right foot and really make a big penetration move with your right step and right hand while keeping your left arm on the ball. Okay, so watch what happens to you, Branden, because you don't get there in time. You're not fronting him. The wind blows is slightly outside. You're not even close to the ball. Okay, like that's just bad. Like that's bad technique. Also, the further the ball is off the net, the more we block line. Okay, so Branden, you should be more in front of him right now. Now you're blocking almost cross-court in my opinion. Okay, like look where you're starting relative to where he is. You're not in front of his right shoulder and the ball is blowing it outside. Ben, if he's blocking ball, why are you standing there? And again, Ben, look at this arm thing. You can't run or move with your arms locked like this. Look at your arms. Like this is killing me, bro. You and I are going to work heavily on this. Like, that is terrible. You can't move. You got to move one arm out. Keep your outside arm. Look how you've locked it in. You can't move. Branden, your left arm should be on the ball and you should be making a move with the other arm. So right now, your arm should be here and your other arm should be here. Also, because you're jumping up and down versus sideways, you're going to have a bigger block. Like you keep losing a lot of your block because you're not in front of him. Like, you jump higher when you're in front of him. Your block is bigger. You take up more area. It becomes easier to read. Okay? So right now, you gave up too much line on a ball block. Okay? Like, either that's one. And then also, Ben, you should be behind the block starting here, bro. Like, you should be there. Anyway, otherwise, this is like something else. Like, this is a cross-court block, in my opinion.
Okay, as the score is now, 14-7, 16. Talk to me, Andor. What do they have to do to bring this game out? Something that you'd like to see them do a little bit better.
Well, I think what was happening previously is they were serving them through the middle. So this little guy, Savante,
You're serving Savante through the middle.
Also,
I like that you ran a back play. This was very nice, guys. I want to see more of this, especially with a win like this. Ben, I think your passing is too high, bro. Like, this doesn't need to be that high. Look at how nervous Branden is because you passed it so high. So something that I want to work on with you guys is going lower, especially. Yeah, like, this is too high. This is a bad pass, Ben, in my opinion. Also, Ben, you got to pass the ball in front of you, not to the middle on this play, I'm thinking. And then just run straight back, I'm guessing.
his board is passed down. Again, there they're having problems staying in system when he's passing the ball very high. Right. So we brought the pass down, and our in-system plays are like night and day now. Okay. They're going off the bench. So Branden's now getting a nice consistent set, and everything is in front of Ben.
In front of Ben now, great.
Which he wasn't doing, so he's seeing everything.
Yeah, when Ben has court vision, he's very, very high.
Yeah.
I certainly agree with you in that respect. There's a timeout, and now the score is 17-14.
So you heard it there, Branden. Like, one of the big problems is Ben is passing you too high, in my opinion, and it makes it difficult for you to set. You got a pretty good bump set. We can keep it low, and Ben's pretty fast and coming in for a up and down to wherever it is. So I don't want to see this high pass anymore. I want a little bit of a lower pass, and then it's going to be easier for you to set too, Branden, with your hands or bump setting. If you look at the old days, I think there's some great videos when you look at a lot of the old AVP from the 90s. You'll watch these guys passing. They don't have to pass the ball this high. Like, they're passing the ball as high as the antenna. And that's on a court that's another 3.5 feet larger. So it's like, I don't want this pass as high as it's going. Like, we don't have somebody that's slow. Like, Branden's fast as hell. He'll get to anything. So, like, let's pass the ball lower and in front of you, Ben. And I think also by having a lower pass, it's going to give you a little bit more court vision in terms of seeing where the hell you're going.
Leading by 3 in a second.
Balls, boys, let's go.
0. Team bought. Here, Usher in the background saying, yeah. So, Andor, I had a really good time at
FIVB.
It was work, but not really, if you know what I mean.
That's the dream, buddy. Like, come on, we're hanging out with famous people that we adored as kids, watching volleyball. Like, I don't know if this is work for me, yeah?
So, if you have not put the interviews up that I sent you yet, I can give you a highlight package. So if you want, like during the interview, if you wanted to chime in, like highlights of the person blocking.
I love everything. Yeah, cool. It's just hard for me right now because it's that time of my busy season.
No, but it gives me time. Yeah. Okay. Like if you haven't done it yet, it gives me time.
Yeah, I would love to
send more stuff in your Dropbox.
Yeah, I would love everything.
Like the interview with Ranky, we can put highlights of him blocking. Like when he played the Brazilian, that man.
I would love that.
0 against Simon and I forgot that other guy's name.
What was interesting for me is I want to see more coverage on the song. Just like I thought that was unbelievable. So I think we need to almost just play the song as part of the interview.
Thank you. My man, is that Chris?
It's a nice serve, man. Like, we really have to work on your serving, buddy. Like, you have to have an offensive weapon. I've got a few different ideas for this that we can work on, but like, you got to go back to the science around volleyball. And there hasn't been these studies in beach volleyball, but in indoor volleyball, there was a study by a guy named Dr. Gil Fellingham. He got paid $20,000,
And the worst thing you can do in men's volleyball is miss your serve. Number 2 is a lollipop or easy serve where they have a perfect pass. And number 3 is a semi-lollipop where they have a semi-perfect pass. And I think a lot of your serves, Branden, they lack location, they lack purpose, where we're trying to drive them into a specific defensive formation, and they lack anything where it's like we're creating spin on the serve, so it's harder to pass. And yeah, I've got some ideas for you that we can work on. Yeah, so I think that's something that within a few weeks, and by December, January, if we start working like in the next 2 or 3 weeks, like we could have a killer serve. Like Ben's serve, ask him, was not great last year, and now it's a weapon. And I think we should weaponize you too.
You serve the line. I told you to serve the line. 18-14. There's middle serve, and he's going to eat him handled by Stewart. Stewart, jumping into the...
Now again, this goes back to that Randy Stokely thing about if you have a right-handed player, notice he's blind on this play. Okay, but notice your starting position, Branden. Although, notice you started outside him, so it's easy for you to jump into the angle. What I would like in this play is a step close. So I would like you a little bit more fronting him with your left, or that's fine, but step closing with your right into that seam. Okay? Notice he's blind. He hasn't taken any kind of look at you because of where you guys served him to. Look at your double move. Oh, that's not that bad. Double move. Look, you went line to angle. Say you started there, you didn't go straight over. So because you didn't go straight over, you didn't get straight penetration. That's why they dug this ball. We've got to work on your moves. You're making 2 moves on everything, Branden. Ben, this is killing me, bro. Look at this. Look at your hands. Look at your hands, Ben. Stop it. Ben, you got to stop this garbage. It's killing your defense, bro.
Jumping into the cross.
Yeah. Nice play, boys.
Cleaning house. So that's 5 blocks this set. Ben climbing his 5th block. Yeah, Branden, Branden, sorry. Yeah, Branden's 5th block. He had 4 errors in the first set. 4 blocking errors.
Branden, and that's the point that I want to make with you, buddy. Like, you're a beast up there. I think that if you and I work together, you can have 5 blocks per set. And I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you on this shit, I'm not joking. Like, ask Ben, I'm like an old fat guy, and I block a crap load of freaking balls. Like, with your athleticism and what you got going on, you should be housing people off the court. This new court is significantly smaller. And if you learn that seam block of mine, okay, that I can show you guys, and we make that your pattern block, you're going to house the crap out of people.
And went from that to 5 blocks.
Like, this bugs me. Okay, like, I know you're trying to block, but this you should just be taking, like, on the ball, so your right hand should be straight up. Your left hand should be making that move and taking a bunch of area. He can't hit around you if you make that block. Like, why did you have to jive out to the side? Like, this block that you made is a 4 block, in my opinion. This is not a ball. So unless you're blocking a 4, and I can't tell it, that's a 4 block. Look, you dived. Like, you completely dived, and Ben should be there. But that's a different play. You're not blocking ball. So if you're blocking a 4, this is a perfect 4. But this is not a ball block because you're not taking the largest area fronting the guy. Okay? So we got to work on that.
Good job, Dan.
And again, Branden, like, you're missing the third purpose around blocking, which is create channels for your partner. You've basically opened up the entire court. So if you're basically doing a 4, that's fine. But on a ball, you're trying to take the biggest, largest area of the court and then have him hit over you through the middle. Okay. You can't hit the line. He can't hit the cross court. If he hits around you down the line, maybe. If he hits around you on the cross court, maybe. But he has to go over you. So again, we're missing the point of the ball block.
Come on, Ben. Ben's gonna have to live and fight another play on that.
And then that's crap, shitty defense. You got to play better defense than that.
So good comeback.
One from the switch. Really exciting games today. Earlier this morning, you had Oz Borges and Amora, the Brazilian, go against Rafa Rodriguez and Peter Marciniak. Two very hotly tight contested sets.
I was watching the midway through the second set, and they really had a chance, and then they lost control of their serve. Oz and
Yes.
what's his name?
Morris. Bruno Morris. He's a Brazilian guy.
That's exactly the same time.
I like the running through the middle.
And there's the
You know, that's a great shot, Ben. You know, good dig, but again, it's so hard to stop it. So run through the middle. I like your attack through the middle. Ben, I'm a little frustrated. Respect to you after this, but you know, you always have to jump serve. I feel like you going down on the ground now was a big mistake and what cost you the match in the end. I think you should have been jump serving through the entire match.
Call team captains and turn this match-long marathon into a one-game sprint.
Okay, now watch you block serving from the.
He doesn't line up enough on the floor.
Look at this lineup, bro. Like this set's coming from the outside. Like there's no way around this that he's going middle. He sees you so early. Look at this move. The stepping across the court is what's killing you, Branden. Your starting position. Like, also you should have your. Okay, if I was playing this play right here, I would be here. Okay, I would also have my left foot on the net and my right foot off the net. And then basically as this ball comes in, I would now step with my right foot and step close this ball. Okay, so I would be, by comparison, here, straight on him, with my left hand, and my right hand would be making this move here. Now, not only am I taking the largest, most important areas of the court, he's seeing me the whole time, okay, and I've set up a clear channel for my partner. So basically what I've basically shut out is from here to here, hard driven. Okay. Also, in order to go around me, he's going to have to go over me here, over the block to get the line. And when you're jumping big, Branden can dig it. So when you're going up and down and fronting, he can dig that ball. But because of your starting position where you're floating across the court, you're making double moves, because, you know, I know you played indoor, you know, I played at UCLA, we won championships. And one of the things Al Skates would have told you is he would have killed you in indoor, is you never ever have your outside hand bent out. Look at that. You're automatically tooled with that. So anytime you do that, you're automatically tooled. I got that like drilled into me, video after video after video after video. We had this guy named Branden Talaferro, setter, amazing setter, great guy, but oh my gosh, he always used to make this move, and Al Skates would just crush him in video sessions over and over again, and man, it was funny and terrible, and poor guy. But, you know, eventually he fixed that move and he blocked a crap load of balls. And, you know, it was a huge thing for us for winning championships. But again, like, look at this crap with your arm. Like, your left arm is garbage. Like, if you're right now blocking a 3, like, you're not blocking ball. So, like, that's a bad block. You got to take area. And especially how big you are, Branden. Like, this is not good.
He doesn't line up enough on the floor.
Yeah, you don't line up enough when you're starting. That situation should be outside, not inside.
Without it. The problem is he's so not fronting the hitter, and he's, I don't know, it's really frustrating. I haven't had a chance to coach him for blocking, and it's like, it just kills me. Honestly.
Nice up and down set, great pass.
Well, listen, Branden Clement's no stranger to playing Cervantes and Stewart. They met each other in the semifinals.
On an off pass, haven't blocked line, ball to line on an off pass, on an off set.
Yes. And for sure, turn the outside hand in.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm shouting at you, Branden, in terms of your blocking. The further off the pass, the more you just block a line. I like to call it seam block. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Branden, yeah, remember, I suffer from BH, buddy. I suffer from brutal honesty. So it's like, I'm going to tell you whatever the fuck it is and how it is and how it can be better. And, you know, I believe in something called the Stocksdale paradox. Google it and you'll learn about it. But there's this famous general named General Stocksdale. And it's important to face the brutal facts. And the reality is, right now, if we can fix your blocking, like, I think you guys are a top 8 team. Like, and you're siding out, and then we fix Branden's passing with your setting. Like, you guys are a top 8 team. And we have to get you a better jump serve, Branden. So, like, fix your serving, work on your siding out and some other things around your siding out. Ben's passing in your setting, and Ben's defense where he's locking his hands in the step close. Not the step close, the stretch step for Ben. I think we can make you guys a top 8 team, and that would be my goal for next year. Okay, and then the following year, top 4 with the goal of running for the Olympics. So that's kind of it. I hope you take this the right way and take it with the idea knowing that I really can help you and I want to help you and I think you have amazing talent and you have the ability to be great. Yeah. Okay. If anyone else finds this video, this is kind of a private video, so I apologize if I offended anyone. And this is something I do for my top players here at Volleyball 101. I've got a group of players that I coach privately that are AVP and FIVB pro players. So if you're a player at the highest level that wants to work with me, shoot me a message. It's on to Gyulai on the volleyball101.com.